Welcome to the name game. Workout number 101 is Minute to Win It. There are 6 1-minute AMRAPs, each with 1 minute of rest between. The first AMRAP is alternating pistols. The second is alternating dumbbell clean and jerks, 70 pounds for males, 50 for females. The third AMRAP is broad jumps. Males have to clear a 7-foot gap, females have to clear 5 feet. The fourth AMRAP is kettlebell reverse lunges. Males 70 pounds per hand, females 53 pounds per hand. You can hold those kettlebells however you would like. The fifth AMRAP is box jump overs. For males, it's a 30-inch box. For females, it's 24. And lastly, it's kettlebell squats, 70 pounds per hand for males, 53 pounds for females. Your score is the reps of all 6 AMRAPs put together.
What's your strategy?
Honestly, just a steady pace. I'm not gonna jump it. Just gonna try to stay even across the board and hope I don't tear anything.
3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off. Alternating pistols, 1 minute. Lots of strategy here, Chris.
Yeah. This is an interesting movement to start off with because, the workout itself, 1-to-1, work to rest, different movements. But for someone like me who's lacking in the mobility category, especially in the ankles and hips, there's only so fast I can go on pistols, versus, I could think of some people off the top of my head at the gym I'm at that there's not a huge difference between pistols and air squats. And so it's like, it's a 1-minute race for them at that point.
Yeah. If you have really good positions, it's literally how quickly can you go down and up.
Yeah.
That's obviously not going to be the majority of people watching this. At least some people either have mobility or some sort of stability limitation while they're doing these, where they're going to lose their balance because of the mobility, the lack of ankle mobility, or they just can't actually stabilize effectively at their hip, and they might have all the positions that they need, and they're just not quite stable or strong enough to move quick.
Yeah. And so for those folks, it's good that it's at the front, and after doing that and having a 1-minute rest, they're probably not going to be too tired at all, you know what I mean, heading into the next thing. So it'll kind of allow them to push the rest of the way.
So next we got alternating dumbbell clean and jerks. So this is one hand's got to go to both heads of the dumbbell got to go to the floor each time. It does have to be a clean and jerk, so you have to bring it up to the shoulder. You do have to alternate hands. 70 for males, 50 for females, so pretty heavy dumbbell. However, it's a pretty rhythmic movement. You can get into the groove with this one fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think a lot of it is going to depend, because it's a 70. You also have to consider how that's going to feel in transition, right? So, watching this guy go here, right? He has no problem transitioning from the top straight to the floor. If you're someone who's maybe a little bit weaker, you might have to transition almost close to the vest, kind of bringing it down to your shoulder to transition. So there's not so much momentum pulling you forward to the floor. Because that's really where this would get hard, is that in that eccentric portion, the way gravity works is the heavier something is, the faster it can get pulled down to the earth. And so, if you're a little bit weaker and have trouble handling that dumbbell, you're going to have to strategize how you're going to transition that.
Yeah. And what he does is he transitions basically as soon as it comes out of his other hand at the very top. So there's actually not much momentum at that point yet. So if you transition hands right away, where you get in trouble, I feel like, is if you try to transition out in front of your face without bringing it down to your shoulder. That it's going to get really, by the time you catch it and you put the brakes on, so to speak, it's going to be way out in front, and it's going to pull you forward. Yeah. Especially with that heavy dumbbell, versus if you do transition all the way up overhead, or maybe lower down to the shoulder, might be good ways to do it. Michael's holding up pretty well with his pink knee sleeve so far.
Is that a fashion statement or?
He said he was somewhere, and I think he needed them for something, and they only had one pair, and he's like, "I'll take them." But yeah. So he he just got done with back squat waves right before this. So yeah,
Legs
his
are feeling good.
Yeah, they were feeling
Real
great.
good.
So now next we got broad jumps. So all you got to do is make sure you're standing behind the line and clear that entire line. Males at 7 feet, females 5 feet. So that can be
Nice.
to the outside ends of the tape. And you can see he does a really good job of basically turning right around and going right away again. He doesn't waste any transition time.
Yeah, no, he's moving pretty well. This is kind of a unique, right? Nothing we've seen in a competition format before. No reason why we couldn't see it in a competition format, right? But something new, different. But it, it's fairly demanding, right? Like you have to turn around and have it. And basically, you have to be aerobically explosive, right? Like, which is, a lot of CrossFit demand you to be enduring, but execute this explosive movement over and over again.
Yeah, and Michael's pretty good at bounding movements as a whole. He's a pretty springy guy. He's obviously tall, which might help with this. But some people, even if they're like a good squatter and they got strong legs, they think they'll be good at bounding, and they're not. It's usually not the way it works.
Right. That's why I'm so good at bounding.
Yeah,
I'm
got
so
that
bad
huge
at
vertical
squatting.
jump. Put him in the combine.
Right. Yeah, right.
That's probably why I like double unders, just because they don't have to jump very high to do them.
And then we got that kettlebell reverse lunge.
Yeah, you got it. So these, you can hold them by your side in like a farmer's. You could hold them in, some variation of the front rack. You can literally hold them however you want, provided that you're going through the range of motion of an alternating reverse lunge. Standard, again, is touching that knee to the ground in the back of each rep. So what Michael does, what he just demoed right there was, basically bringing them up to the shoulders and kind of resting them. Well, basically what we showed at camp for the people who were there in this January of 2023. We showed how you can basically bring it up, and he's going to do it right here, but you'll rest it in against your shoulders, and that provides a really stable platform once you actually get it there. Before you get it there, it's super taxing to actually get it up on the shoulders and work them in. But once they're there, it actually sits kind of nice. It's almost better than a front rack for a barbell, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you recommend doing that versus holding it at your sides?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say unless you're someone who just like truly can't get them there.
Yeah. Which could be someone slinging around 270s or 253s could be tough.
Yeah. Or maybe the only other thing I could think of is someone's like moving really quickly. They might be able to swing the kettlebells a little bit if they hold them at their sides, and they don't have to take the time to get them up to the shoulders. So it might save 2 seconds. They might get an extra rep.
Yeah, it's true.
So if you're really racing these.
Boo.
Nice zoom in on the face there. Starting to feel it. There's definitely, even though there's that minute of rest, there's clearly accumulated fatigue through this.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah.
But it's one of those like we can't really pace any of them though, because you want to get obviously as many reps as you can. But like even like a lot of workouts, like I don't know, like what is it, like Filthy 50 or something, where you're going through and having to do all those reps. But yeah, like minutes where it's like 1 minute, maybe it's like the Ghost or something, right? Where it's like 1 minute of this, 1 minute of this, and it's like max for all of them. But it's really like you're just going through those movements and like resting as much as you need to like keep the work rate high. With these, it's like more of a sprint if you got really good fitness.
Right.
Next, we got high box jump overs, males 30 inches, females to 24. So Chris and I would both recommend, I could tell you that Chris would agree with me, that you should face the same way the whole time, like face the same wall as you jump over. Not like Michael's doing.
No, Michael likes to go in a circle. So he's going to
actually talked about this the other day with him. So
yeah, because, essentially if you go this route, there's a chance that A, you get dizzy, right? B, before I learned to have my butt face the same wall or send the one side of my low back or my one hip would get super fatigued. And
Yeah,
so you
especially
get
if you're doing like burpee box jump overs or
yes,
bar facing burpees. It's like your hip flexor gets so tired.
so tired. And then you think about the high box here, it's like you're in a bottomed out squat. Like,
Yeah.
and so it's like your low back on that one side gets so fatigued. And so being able to go both directions allows for more work because you're not asking as much of, just that one side of your body.
Yeah, for sure. And I would also say that for a lot of people, jumping down, especially off of 30, maybe not for the females to 24, because even if you're 5'4", I think stepping down probably makes sense. Versus a lot of guys who are under 5'10", it probably makes sense to jump off rather than step down the burpee, especially if you don't have super mobile hips.
Right.
Like that knee up to chest position doesn't feel great for me personally. And some people should just rebound that sucker.
Yeah. And I mean,
your legs are going to be tired, but yeah.
Watching Michael, he seems like he's pretty tall. And so he didn't have any problem stepping down off that box versus, like you said, someone who would.
Yeah, and he's got pretty good hip flexion too. Like that knee to chest position doesn't seem to bother him as much as somebody who's a little bit less bendy.
Yeah. So,
all right, final minute here.
Yep.
So he opts for the same variation. This one, the standard is that you can't hold it in the hang. So you can hold it anywhere basically on or, at the shoulder. So you could try to back rack this somehow, like hold them like where you're inclined your torso a little bit and like hold them out back a little bit. Or you could do what Michael's doing here or more of a traditional like kettlebell front rack, which it'd probably be the worst version in my opinion.
This is, for me, I would find this way harder than the reverse lunge.
Yes, 100%.
It's crazy how getting the kettlebells in that position, how it just funnels so much of the work to your quads, that it's just like my quads blow up so bad doing kettlebell front squats.
Yeah, especially if you're cycling reps pretty quick. I mean, either way, at this point, your legs are going to be tired. But if you're having to cycle reps quickly at this point too, like all the tension stays on the quad the entire movement.
The entire time, yeah. He did it.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with Michael's execution on this workout, especially considering his back squats before this.
Yeah, that's very good. Woo! That was good. My legs had nothing. I'm pretty happy with it, considering.
Which of the movements was the hardest?
Kettlebell squats, for sure.
Just because they're at the end, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I moved slow on the lunges, but I felt good on them. A little balance issue in the beginning, but I was fine. Clean and jerks were fun. I like them. Towards the end, I got fatigued, but probably the broad jumps were my favorite. They're the easiest, so.
Broad jumps are the easiest?
Yeah. Out of everything, yeah.
All right.
It gets out the long legs. So, we're good to go.
Alrighty, folks, it's that time. Be sure to submit your scores to the leaderboard at zorfitness.com/TNG. You're more than welcome to share this and take it on with some friends, and best of luck on the workout.